hello. It's boiling. Oh, I don't feel like putting any makeup on because I am so hot. I don't like to moan about the English weather unless it's raining, obviously, because that's what we all do. But I am genuinely hot today. This is the day where, the day that they predicted it was going to be like 30 degrees this afternoon, and it is nearly 1 o'clock, so I'm right at the peak. I've got my back door open and I am still so hot. I need a fan. But anyway, I'm going to attempt to put some makeup on my face that's hopefully not going to fall off. I've got nothing on my skin at the moment, so I'm going to show you a couple of things that I've been using recently that I've actually... I think it's only been about 4 weeks since I've started this new skincare routine, but it's going really good. So I want to show you a couple of things that I've got. Obviously my skin is clean, so I've got nothing. I'm going to wipe it though because I'm so hot. Shit. My nail fell off. Ugh. That's better. I've been working on growing my eyebrows recently, so I've been looking for products that help to sort of like grow, you know, like condition that area. And the best one that I found yet, I can't put it on now because I'm going to be putting makeup on, but it's this. It's Wonder Balm, and I don't know whether I've mentioned it to you before, but you can get it from like B&M for £1.50. And what I do is I take a little spoolie like this, I pop a bit of the balm, which is sort of like the same consistency of Vaseline. I put that on my finger, I run the spoolie through it, and then I put it through my eyelashes and my eyebrows. And when I do my eyebrows, I sort of go up like that, and I really sort of like rub it in and brush it out, because I think that kind of like stimulates that area to help it to grow. Same as when I do my lashes. When you do your lashes, you want to get right to the root of the lash, so as close to the lash line as possible, and give it a real good wiggle in there so it coats every single lash and it gets right down to the root, to condition it, moisturise it, and obviously stimulate it, encourage it to grow. So that's that little tip. Right, so I've been using the Ordinary. I've mentioned the Ordinary before because they are a super cheap brand that you can buy off Cult Beauty or Look Fantastic or any of those kinds of websites. This is the no-brainer set. I've actually finished using the moisturiser, but I've still got some of the serums left. So it comes with 2 serums like this, and a moisturiser, which is this one. However, the moisturiser bottle is sort of like that size rather than this size. This is a new one that I bought because I ran out. So you've got a multi-technology peptide serum, which is this one. And then you've got a Gran-Active Retinoid 2% emulsion, which is this one. And the moisturiser is the Natural Moisturising Factors plus HA, which is hyaluronic acid, surface hydration formula. The set itself is around 20-30 quid, I can't remember how much it was, and it sounds like a lot, but it's not a lot because you get a lot of products, and they do work really well. So the reason behind me buying them was because I was looking for something that would be okay for aging skin, because obviously I'm getting old and I've got these really irritating wrinkles on my forehead which drive me crazy. Yeah, so for anti-aging purposes, plus I wanted something that wasn't going to break me out because obviously I'm crazy acne prone, which is awesome. So there's a particular way in which you have to put them on. You can't just go slapping them on at any order because they don't work as well. So the first step is to use the water-based serum. You should always use a water-based serum first, then any cream serums that you've got, like emulsions, like this retinoid emulsion, and then your moisturiser. If you've got any other products like eye products or anything, it depends whether it's like a cream or whether it's a serum. If it's a serum and it's water-based, you want to put it on after water-based serums, before emulsions, creams. And I have got one here. This is the Vichy, I don't know how you pronounce that name, Lift Active Supreme Comes in this teeny tiny bottle, which is only 15 mils, but it lasts forever. And this is a lifting eye serum, which is also good for eyebrow and eyelash growth. So that alone is around 30 quid. So anyway, let's put this on first. The best way to apply serums is with your fingers, and I can't even get any out of the bottle now because there we go. Is with your fingers. I like to get it all over my face first. Don't forget your neck as well. Your neck's important. People miss it out, but your décolletage there and your neck do get wrinkly as well. So I put it on first to make sure it's covered, and then you pat it in. I look like a right idiot patting my face, but still it works better than anything else. Also, if you've got a jade roller like this is from Candy Cosmetics. Remember, if you order anything off the Candy website, to use the code Christina30, that will give you 30% off at checkout, which is always handy. And they do loads of other things, glitter palettes, eyeshadow palettes, lots of skincare stuff like face masks. Anyway, so you put the serum on, and then I just sort of like rub it all over. Massage. It's a nice massage, and the idea behind the quartz rollers is that you're keeping all that product on your skin. You're not taking it off. It's not being absorbed into your hands or a sponge or whatever you choose to put it on with. Plus, you're giving your skin a nice massage, so it brings all the blood to the surface and plumps up all those areas. So following on with water-based serums then, my next one is the Vichy, whatever it's called, Lift Active stuff. And I just one pump on either eye. And then, God, I've put nails on, and I've not had nails on for the last couple of weeks, and now I think I'm going to poke myself in the eye. So it doesn't irritate your eyes at all, even if your eyes are sensitive, so you can really rub that into your eyelashes and your brows. Just pat it in a bit. So once it's all on, I like to use the other end of the jade roller, the smaller one. And I just gently sort of rub that, mainly over my dark circles, in some sort of hope that they might fade. It's not happening. They're still as dark as ever. If anyone has any tips for eye creams for dark circles, I always ask, please let me know. So I rub that in. So now I've got my water-based serums on. I can start and use cream-based products, emulsions, whatever you want to call them. So this one is the Gran Active Retinoid. Now, I normally would use this, but because it's really warm and I shall be going outside later, they tell you to use this one at night only, because UV exposure can really damage your skin, especially if you're using this. So this is only to be used at night. So I'm not going to use that today, because I do plan on going outside, because I'm a bit naughty. If I'm not going out, I'll put it on in the daytime. So I'm just going to go straight in with the moisturiser. And I do the same thing with this. I get it all over my skin, and then I'll work it in with the jade roller. And it's best to roll upwards in upwards motion, so that you're not pulling the skin down, which could create more wrinkles. So sort of roll upwards. So you've got the hyaluronic acid in that moisturiser, which works to plump up your skin. And of course, you're aiding that by using a jade roller as well, because that'll obviously stimulate. So my next step then, this is something that it's relatively new to me. Well, it's very new to me. I've only been using it for the last couple of days. This is the Glam Glow Bright Eyes. This is also £20-ish alone, but it's got a slightly pink hue to it, which helps to disguise dark circles. I'll just poke myself in the eye. And it's also super moisturising, so it really hydrates that dry area under your eyes. So whilst it's not obviously going to give any long-term effect to dark circles, it does help to disguise them. So it's super important to give your skin a little rest before you start applying makeup, just to let those products, your priming products, your moisturisers, etc., to sink into your skin. And I'm just going to finish that step with a couple of squirts of the GRWM Hydro Fix water primer, because it's hot and I'm hot and anything cold is nice. So once that's all on and sunk in, I'm just going to do, I don't really know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do something nice and natural and glowy because it's a bit warm for heavy shit. So what do you reckon to the restrictions being lifted? How are you all feeling about that? I mean, I'm not feeling any way about it because I can't start back at work, which it's annoying me a little bit because hairdressers are opening and stuff. I get the kind of like, that makeup is the skin to skin kind of direct contact, eyes, nose and mouth kind of scenario, but people in the salon environment are still going to suffer if somebody comes in with COVID symptoms. It's not going to be easy to avoid getting that, is it? So I kind of feel like it's pretty pointless not allowing us to reopen, although I do get the principle behind it. Right, foundation then. I don't want anything too heavy today because, like I say, it's hot. What are we going to use? Okay, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of this on because I've got super large pores which look even worse when it's hot and I'm sweaty. This is the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer Filler. Everybody raves about this because it looks super nice under makeup. It fills those pores really nicely. So just sort of sweeping it on with your fingers wherever you've got those enlarged pores. It's normally sort of like nose area and the fronts of your cheeks, sort of like there where you normally get them. But I think that you can tell the difference instantly. I don't know whether it works to fill wrinkles, but I'm having a good go. And it's got kind of like a fleshy colour to it, so it helps to disguise any sort of like hyperpigmentation. So you put it on and it kind of like blurs out any hyperpigmentation, basically like your freckles and things, any dark spots that you've got on your face, any areas sort of like a pigment that show through that you don't like. That primer really helps to cover those areas up and obviously blur away any of your pores. I've got several spots going off at the moment, which is ace. So foundation, I think I am going to use the NARS Sheer Glow, purely because it's the lightest one that I've got. As you know, I like to mix shades, so I've got Fiji and Tahoe here, and I just mix them together because I'm a little bit browner at the moment from having been outside. It's infuriating though because my sort of like my neck is always a different colour. So I'm just going to take my foundation brush. This is actually a highlight brush. It's the Zoeva 105 Luxe Highlight. It's a bit dirty on the brush, I don't know what's happened there. Just to mix those two together. Now, being as it's summer and everyone likes to look super sort of luminous in summer and dewy, it's a nice idea to add a few drops of liquid highlight if you've got any. The one that I specifically like is the Revolution one. This shade is Euphoric Gold, and I think gold tones also look nice in the summer, especially if you've got like a yellow toned skin. if you're more pinky toned or neutral toned, you might be better using a more sort of like pinky toned one, like Starlight. You can tell the colour difference. So I give it a shake, and I just use a drop of that just to mix into the foundation to make it nice and luminous. So I'm not putting too much on. I've given it a good mix. A good mix in. That's probably a bit darker than my neck. But it's okay. I just have a few more drops of the lighter one. So I use the brush to push it into the pores. Like you've heard me mention before. That is a really gross look. Obviously, because this is quite dark, I'm bringing it down into my neck as well, and that's just so that I can blend it in with the rest of my skin. Obviously it's not a nice look to put orangey coloured foundation on, so don't, you know, go doing that, but to blend it down into your neck, just so it kind of like matches the rest of your body. So I'm just going over my entire face, pushing it into the skin. Doesn't need to be spot on, because I'm going to go in with the Beauty Blender next anyway. It's just a case of pushing it into the pores. That's what helps fill them out, especially having used the Poreless Putty Primer first as well. Right, so once we've got that on, Beauty Blender, and I'm going to use the Revolution Glow Fix setting spray for this bit. I'm just going to damp make the Beauty Blender nice and damp with that setting spray. And I'm going to go all over those areas and just make sure there's no brush marks or anything, just pat it in. Make sure you've got no line where the foundation finishes as well, because that's just not a good look for anyone. I tell you, I'm putting this on for this video and then it's come straight back off. I am too hot for makeup. But yeah, so going back to the restrictions being lifted slightly. So I have no idea when I'm going to be able to go back to work. And I was saying to somebody yesterday, you know, if there's a potential for a second wave of this, which they're saying there will be, it might be that I'm not able to go back to work at all this year. And if that's the case, and we have a second wave in the spring of next year, it might not be till next summer that I'm allowed to go back to work. I mean, that's just out of the question for me. I'm not happy doing that at all. I'm sure nobody else is. We'll just have to wait and see. I don't know whether there'll be... I imagine another 3 weeks, seeing as they've sort of lifted the restrictions for hairdressers. I guess they'll want to see how that goes with the pubs and things, and then probably in another 3 weeks we can expect another easing of lockdown, and that might mean that I can get back to work then. So if you guys have got appointments in July, like I said on my post yesterday, just make sure you keep looking for updates from me, and obviously you'll be aware of the restrictions anyway, because of obviously the government's updates. But I was pretty full for July, to be honest, so it's a shame that I can't start back yet, but still, Mark's keeping me busy with the fish. We just had a spawning of koi fry, so we've got tons of koi babies, which is awesome. finding room for them all. It was a massive spawning as well. We didn't expect it to be that big. It's certainly the biggest that we've ever had from when they've spawned. By far the biggest. Right, concealer next. So I'm using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. This is a multi-use sculpting concealer. This is a lightish shade in Cloud, and that's going under the eye, nose, Cupid's bow, chin, and then a little bit on the forehead there. Same again, beauty blender, dampened with your setting spray, and then just blend it out. Anyway, back to fish. We've got tons of goldfish. They breed like rabbits, goldfish do, and every time you come out to the tanks, there's like 20 million more goldfish. So when I blend out the concealer under my eye, I literally take it into that. I don't put it on in the triangle shape, but I'll blend it out into the triangle shape. And I do it on the, seeing as I'm not doing much on my eyes, I'm going to prime it with this concealer. The good thing about using a concealer like that, especially if it's in a lighter shade, if you're taking it right up to your temple, that's where you're going to get that sort of like highlighted area, and it'll help your cheekbones to stand out. So anyway, we've got loads of giant goldfish. Some of them are up to about like 12 inches. They're massive. They're the size of my hand. So if you guys want any goldfish, let me know. Okay, and I think I'm going to do a cream contour because I don't really want too much powder on. Like I say, with it being hot, it's nice to have a sort of dewy finish going on there, rather than it being really powdery and cakey and heavy. So I'm going to do a cream contour. Now for that, I don't know if I've shown you guys this before actually, for that I like to use the Revolution Fast Base sticks. This is F14. I just picked up one of the darkest that I could find really. So I'll do a line just there, sort of underneath my cheekbone. I don't bring it all the way down, just roughly to, you know, halfway. Just a bit under my jawline. And then tiny little bit next to my chin. Under my lip, because once that's blended out, that'll help the lips look fuller. And then just on my forehead. I don't need to contour the top of my forehead, but I do it sort of at the sides. And then down the side of my nose. And the tip, like that. Now then, for blending it out, you can use a sponge, that's absolutely fine, but you do tend to find you've got more control using a brush. So the brush that I like to blend out a cream contour with, this is the Peaches and Cream PC18. This is kind of like a concealer brush. It's quite stiff, it's got a flat top, but it's still quite fluffy. So any brush like that, as long as it's stiff enough to give you the control, because you don't want to sort of be blending it too far out, otherwise you won't get the same contoured effect. So I just kind of like pat at it until it's sufficiently blended. Now what I'm going to do is, once I've blended it out as much as I feel is necessary, I'll then go in with the Beauty Blender again, just to, so for instance here, where I've blended it out as much as I feel is necessary, I'll go back in with the Beauty Blender just to blend out the edges, just to soften it. Like that, so you can't see. And you know how I feel about brushes anyway. I feel like you always get left with brush marks, so I like to go back in with the blender just to make sure it's nice and smooth. Mainly, that's the main thing. My hair keeps sticking to my face because I'm that hot. Sweaty Betty. So under the lip, I kind of just, I blend it out and around the lip. Now for the cheek, I'll blend it just out by rubbing over that line. Now, you don't want to go down with it, you want to go up with it to blend it out. Because then you'll get that nice contoured, sort of like darker, ashier line. And then as you bring it up into the cheek, it'll blend out to be more like a bronzer. So I still like to leave that sort of highlighted section there. So I take it up to there. You don't want to pull it too far up, but you want to make sure that you've got sort of like a nice bronzy look on the cheek. And just blend out that cheek to where you're happy with. Remember, we're going over with a beauty blender, so whilst it might look a bit patchy now, it will look better once you blend it out with the sponge. So just backwards and forwards over the line first, just to get it on the brush, blend it out a little bit, come down a little bit with it. Remember, when you stuck your face in, I can sort of see where the line ends. I don't want to come right up to the mouth. So once you've done that bit, then just blend it up. Remember to leave that gap at the top to give you that nice sort of highlighted area on the cheekbone. And then the forehead, same principle. I just dab it to blend it out. Remember not to come too far down. I do like to take it on that section there though, on the temple. Just that I like to make sure I've left that gap where the cheekbone is, so it's nice and highlighted and it'll obviously stick out. And when I bring it in, I always make sure that I've left that nice little triangle that I leave, that I highlight with the concealer. Right, so for the nose, I still use this brush. And I just pat to sort of bring it out. So it's okay to come out this way, but you want to make sure you're leaving that nice and clean in the middle. And then into the eye contour as well there. Right up to the brow. I find that this trick also helps me to disguise my dark circles. So you can see, obviously it looks nice and bright here, but I can still see my dark circles. Now on this side, where I've used the contour, you can't see it so much, so it does help to disguise that dark area. So whilst it looks brighter with the concealer, you can still see the dark circles, whereas the contour, you can't see them as much. It's not for everybody though. It all depends how far you sort of like to go with that contour. It's perfectly acceptable not to contour, or just to contour your cheekbones if that's what you want to do. You certainly don't need to do a nose contour, not unless you've got a shockingly bad nose like me. That's just my thing though. That's one of my hang-ups. So once I've done it all with the brush then, I'll now go back in with the Beauty Blender. Setting spray, again. And then I just pat over where I've blended it out. You don't want to press on too hard, and you certainly don't want to rub at it, because then all you're going to do is either rub off or move the contour. So what I do is I just sort of dab over the lines. Until I'm happy that it's blended out nicely. Obviously you can tell that the sponge is picking up the excess as well. Just do the same on the forehead. And then for the nose, what I do, because I've done it like this, is I just want to go over, I'm going to take a different blender, a cleaner one. Use my little one. These are the Jeffree Star Beauty Blenders, by the way. You get a set if you order off Beauty Bay. I can't remember for the life of me how much they are, but you get the big face sponge and then 2 mini eye sponges. So once I've done that, I've just got the setting spray on. I'm just going to go over that line on the nose, and I'm going to dab at it, staying central until I can no longer see those lines. Like that. And then blend out the contour. So I'm going to use my Laura Mercier powder because it's brightening. This is the Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. Quite expensive, but it is worth investing in it because you get an effect from that powder that you don't get with most other powders. You know how much of a fan I am of the RCMA no colour powder, but it is a no colour powder. This one just slightly brightens under the eye, so if you're a sufferer of dark circles like I am, it comes in real handy to have this. And I just take a small beauty blender, press it into the powder, and then press it under the eye. I don't want to use too much, especially if you've got sort of more mature skin. You don't want to be using too much under there, but it does help to really set it, smooth it out and brighten it up. I like to take it right over that highlighted area. Right, so for the rest of my face, I'm going to set it with a powder foundation. I don't normally do this. I normally use the no colour powder, but today I'm going to show you the MAC Studio Fix Powder Plus Foundation. So this is shade NC20, which is sort of more or less my normal shade. It's a little bit pale, but I'm not using too much of it. I'm just going to take that on a powder brush. This is the Peaches Makeup PC04. I'm just going to press that into the powder, tap off any excess. I'm just going to set my entire face with that. The good thing about using a powder foundation for setting is that you can get a little bit extra coverage from it. So if you're trying to cover up any sort of discrepancies like me with my disgusting acne at the moment, it's helpful. If you've applied foundation to your neck as well, remember to set that, otherwise it will crease up in your lines. So that's set. I'm just going to dust the excess off from underneath my eye. What I do? Just remove any wrinkles from my eye base as well. And I'm just going to set that slightly with this powder. Right, powder contour then. I'm going to be using the Peaches and Cream. This is sculpting powder, light medium. And I'm going to use the Staycation bronzer as well, which is the GRWM. That's like £5. I can't remember how much this is, but I don't think you can actually get it anymore on the Peaches makeup website, because I had a look to see if I could get the darker one, and I couldn't, which was a pain in the bum. So I'm going to start with the sculpting powder. I'm just going to take this on an angled brush. This is a UBU, whatever it is. I've had it years. I bought it from Tesco. I'm just going to use that powder on the contour lines that I did with the cream contour, because this is a slightly ashier colour. So you're using this to emphasise the cream contour. So it's just going on the areas that I did the cream contour. And then we shall warm it up with the bronzer. For the nose, I like to use this little fluffy brush that is on a brush that I got from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. I don't know if you can buy the brushes separately. I haven't looked. But any sort of like medium, small medium fluffy brush. And got hairs attached to it. And molting. And I take that down either side of my nose, again on the lines that I did with the cream contour. And then underneath the lip as well. Right, I thought for my eyes today, so I don't want anything too heavy, I'm just going to do a bit of an eye contour and then something a bit shimmery on the lid. So I'm going to use this powder for the eye contour. If you struggle to find your eye contour, the best thing to do is to sort of put your head down, look up, and then use your brush to mark off where that natural crease is. Especially people with like almond shaped eyes. It's all right if they're deep set and you can naturally see your crease, but if you've got that sort of like more almond shaped eye where you can't see natural crease, or hooded eyes, then look down and just use your brush with your powder on just to stamp at the corner, and then that'll give you a line as to where your crease will be, and then you can just sort of mould that contour with sweeping motions. So sweeping motions, like the windscreen wiper motion, and I really focus it into that corner as well, because that's where I did that's where the nose contour joins up, to help disguise those dark circles, but you don't have to do that if you've not done that kind of nose contour. So again, look slightly down and up, and then you can sort of see where your eyelid touches the upper lid, and that's where you'll be wanting to. So do it at the corner, stick it right in, and then you can see kind of like made a mark where that crease should be if you can't find your natural crease. And then you're doing sort of that eye shape backwards and forwards with the brush. Right, for bronzer then, so like I said, I'm using the Staycation bronzer palette. These are about £5.50 or £6, something like that. It's the GRWM one. I'm just taking the brush again that I use with the sculpting powder. So this one has got a matte bronzer and a shimmer bronzer. I like to just mix the two together. And then basically like a blusher, I use it to sort of like smile, find the apples of your cheeks, and it's that kind of portion of your cheek where you want to be bronzing, warming it up. Look like a great weirdo, grinning at yourself in the mirror. There we are, that's that bit. I've got hairs all over me. Okay, so for the brows then, I just want to keep them quite natural because everything else is quite natural. So another new product that I've got then is the Benefit Gimme Brow. And basically, it's just like a brown mascara. This is the mini version because I wanted to test it out, you see. It's just a brown mascara, but it's got super fine fibres in it. So if you're missing sort of like areas of your eyebrow where they might be a bit patchy, then this is ideal at filling those gaps. So I'm just going through them with a spoolie first, just to remove any foundation and powder. So my brows aren't looking too bad at the moment. I've been tweezing them myself. I did them quite recently. But the trend at the moment seems to be quite fluffy eyebrows. So yeah, I suppose it doesn't matter too much if they're a bit all over the place. And then I'm just going to use the Gimme Brow. I'm going to go through all of my brow first. Lightly though, because I don't want to put too much on. This is the shade Deep, so it's one of the darkest ones, if not the darkest. So same as I say, I'm just going through all the brow. You do want to be quite light when you're putting it on, otherwise you might find that it goes on a bit thick and dark. So once I've gone through all of it, I can see where there are areas that have got sort of like slight patches in. So that's where I'll just go back through. Just adding a little bit more in. So they look thicker than they normally do when I do my brows, obviously, but that's the kind of whole fluffy brow thing that's going on, is kind of like having them nice and thick and full. It's going to take me a while to get used to because I'm not used to having big, thick eyebrows. So anyway, next step then, I thought about just doing something nice and shimmery on the lid. So this is the Candy Cosmetics pigment. This one, unfortunately, they sent it me and it's not named, but it's kind of like a white iridescent pigment. And I'm just going to use the pigment brush from Peaches Makeup, which is this one. This is the PC36 and it's specifically for pigments. So I take a bit of that pigment on my brush, knock off the excess because it is very dusty. I'm going to put that all over my lid. And as you can see, it sort of gives like a really nice sort of dewy shine to it rather than leaving any colour, which is what I wanted. I'm going to use a bit of that on my brow bone as well. And when you're finding your brow bone, it wants to be on the highest part of your brow bone, just underneath your eyebrow. So for me, it's there. And you want to make sure you've obviously blended it out so there's not like a harsh edge. What I like about this pigment is that it picks up the light so well, and it can go from looking silver to white to sort of almost clear, but just giving you that really nice sort of dewy shine. And then I'm going to use it slightly on the inner corner as well. You can use as little or as much as you like. I like to put a lot on that inner corner because it helps disguise my dark circles, like I keep saying. Right, that's that bit. Highlighter then. I've absolutely fell in love with this baked tri-blend highlighter from GRWM. This is the one in Silver Solstice. You might have seen me mention it on the full face of GRWM that I did. I absolutely love it. It's phenomenal. For £6.50, I've never found a drugstore highlighter that does what this does. It's insane. And if you want a really sort of like strong effect, you can set your face first. And then the little brush that I love to use for highlighter is this one. It's the MAC 224 brush because it's nice and fluffy. So I like to set it first. Give it a bit of a wave because it's a bit wet. That's what I like about these Revolution setting sprays, by the way, is that they come out quite quick, and that's an ideal way to set your face, is by really soaking it. So this has got like a silver and a gold and a sort of rose gold in the middle, and I just like to run the brush all over it and pick up each of the colours, tap off the excess, and then right on the cheekbone. And already you can see how strong that is. If you find yourself that you've got sort of like quite chubby cheeks and you want to slim them down a bit, it's a good idea to bring the highlighter sort of more angled down. And I've always said I've got a moon face, so I sort of angle it down just to slim the face out a bit. And I like to just get it right on the apple of my cheeks as well, because that part really picks the sunlight up because my cheeks are so full. So once I've got it all off my brush, then I blend it. I do circular motions just to make sure there's no line either side. And then I go back in with my bronzer brush just to go over the bronzed area, make sure it's blended out, that highlighter's blended out. And I've not taken away any of the colour of the bronzer. Anyway, so nose contour then. Again, the Anastasia Beverly Hills brush, it's got this nice little flat-ended one, and it's quite stiff. So, right, so I do the same thing. I sweep it all over, tap off the excess, and then go right on the tip of my nose and right in the middle of the bridge. I'm going to use my finger just to blend it out slightly up and down onto the bridge. And then Cupid's bow. And just a little bit on the chin as well. And then whatever I've got left on my little fluffy highlight brush, I just blend that bit out on the bridge and take it over my eyebrows there, as I quite like that little bit there. You probably heard me say, over the brow. It's kind of like when you do the C-shape highlighter, which sometimes looks a bit too much, hence why I've not done it today. Right, so a bit of mascara then. This is the Benefit Bad Gal Bang. I do like this mascara, however, it can fall a little bit during the day, so just be warned. I think they've got an offer on Look Fantastic as well, where you can buy the full size and a mini version, which is what I've done here for about 20 quid. I say that and it might not be, so don't hold me to it. Again, with the mascara, make sure you're getting right at the root of the lash and give it a good wiggle. And that really sort of elongates the lashes then. I'm sorry I haven't done any videos for a while, by the way. I was really poorly last week. I've been having these regular kidney problems, which has become a real pain in the arse. So I've had like 3 or 4 lots of antibiotics since lockdown started. But I've got to have some blood tests and stuff now to figure out what's going wrong with me. I feel like I'm always ill. In fact, I am always ill. It's probably because I'm so old. I keep saying I'm so old, but obviously I'm not. I'm almost 33, but God, I feel old. It's probably kids. The kids have made me old. Is everyone still homeschooling? We got off to a great start with these fantastic schedules and things like that, and we were doing dead well, and then war broke out, and basically the kids don't like me being their teacher anymore. Which is great, because I'm the only one they've got at the moment. So we spend most of the time frigging arguing about things instead of actually getting any work done, and it's that exhausting. I just think, oh, I can't be bothered. So what I've done is I've gave them sort of booklets that they've either been sent from school or I've downloaded and printed off. Just give them the booklets and say pick a task and do that. Crack on. But in all honesty, it's hard work being a mum and doing all the sort of normal mum things, you know, the food and the baths and the playtime and doing everything that you do to run a house, you know, and then work yourself if you're out at work, and then be a teacher. It's hard work. I get so jealous of Mark sometimes because he's able to go out of the house and go to work. He's got a job to go to and I have no job anymore. Well, I do, but I don't. I'm obviously not working at the moment. But I am still doing online lessons. So if you want to have a go at that, then do get in touch, because we can arrange a Zoom, Skype, Facebook Messenger kind of video lesson thing where we can get together, and they are only £10 for an hour's lesson. So it's definitely worth doing. £20 if you want 2 hours. And we can do whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you're looking to learn, as long as you are working to your current level. So I'm not feeling lashes today. I don't want no sticky glue on my eyes, so I'm just working really, really hard on my eyelashes with the mascara to get right to the root the closer you can get to the root and the more product you can get on the root as opposed to the tips of the lashes, that's where you'll build your volume. That'll be what gives you the false lash effect. So you're working really close to the lash line. I like to roll it under with my eye open and then close my eye and give it a good wriggle. And then I just kind of like add a little bit onto the tips of the lashes and separate them or whatnot. You don't need to keep dipping back in too often either, because it's not necessarily about putting more product on. It's more to do with dispersing the product that you've put on already properly so that it can give the lash structure. Okie dokie, right, just a bit of something on the lips then. I don't want too much on, but another new product I've got to show you is this. It is Project Lip, and it's a matte lip plumper. And what I like about this is the fact that it is matte. It's not glossy, so you don't have to have... all the lip plumpers that I've tried before have all been sort of like really... sticky, like glossy, thick glosses that I've had on, and they can feel quite heavy on your lips, and then they're sticky, so you go outside, the wind blows, your hair sticks to your face and you end up like this, and it's a bit of a ball ache, isn't it? So I like this because it is matte. It's just a balm. You just literally put in a lip balm on, and it's not that sort of like really intense tingle. It's more like you've had a chili. So be warned, it does go into your mouth a little bit. If you're sort of rubbing your lips together a bit too much, you can get it into your mouth. It goes down the back of your throat. It's not great. But I think it works really well. So I just like to work it in, give them a good rub together. It's already in my mouth, on my tongue. Ugh. So you should be able to start seeing them plump. Right, so because I put that on, I'm just going to line them just a little bit, and I've got to find my lip liner first. This is it. This is my favourite. This is the Barry M's lip liner in Toast. It's a really nice nude lip liner. Obviously, it's a good idea to line your lips before you put stuff on, but I find that it doesn't drag as much if I've got a balm on first, which is all the matte lip primer is. I've got a hugely uneven lip shape though, which absolutely winds me up. Just give my lips a little rub together as well, just to disperse that. And then I'm going to use a little bit of MAC Peach Stock, which is a satin lipstick, and it's just a nice nude satin. Just to go over that, that's that bit done. And then, oh, I forgot, I'm just going to pop a little bit of nude liner on as well. This is the Barry M Nude Kohl Pencil. If you remember what I've said on previous videos, if you use a dark eyeliner, like a black eyeliner, it's going to make your eyes look smaller. So if you've already got small eyes and you want to use a dark eyeliner, try a brown. If you've got tired looking eyes and you want to brighten them up a bit, look more awake and alive, like me, then try a nude eyeliner. And if you want to make your eyes pop, then try a white. And there we are. Right, I can get rid of this headband now. It's driving me mad. My head's so sweaty, I'm so hot. I've been sunbathing, so I bought, this has actually really annoyed me, I bought 2 sun loungers from Wayfair last year, and they were dead nice. They're black, and they've got like this sunshade that you can like flip on top, like flip over you, and it shades you, and it's awesome. And I think, I don't know, the quality can't have been that great, even though it looked okay and felt okay, because when I sat on it, unless I'm just fat, I sat on it this year and it just split. Like, all the fabric came away from the metal poles and I was gutted. But anyway, I got in touch with Wayfair and they sent me another one. So I ended up with 2 again, and that was great, and I was dead happy. And I sat on the other one that I had, that I bought last year, yesterday, and it ripped on me. So I have just the one sun lounger at the moment, which I'm really annoyed about. I think they were only like 20 quid each or something, but it's not the point, is it? You don't expect something to just last a year when you pay for it. Anyway, so I think I'm probably going to do that this afternoon and get in the pool, because I am mortifyingly hot, like I'm sweating and I want to jump out of my own skin. So I reckon we're all going to get in the pool in a bit, which would be awesome, because it's cold in there. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed the video. Yet another full face. Obviously it's not a very intricate eye look, it's just a little bit contour and shimmer. So if you wanted to see anything that's sort of like a little bit more intricate, then do get in touch, and I'll see if I can do a video. Otherwise, have a look for some styles you like, and get in touch for a proper lesson. I can do one-to-one and show you how to do it on yourself. Perhaps not like the really advanced stuff, but we can do it. Smoky eyes especially, everyone likes to be able to do their own smoky eye. And if I can't go back to work this year, or yet, and the pubs are reopening on the 4th, aren't they? So you guys might be going on a night out and you can't do it yourself. Dead simple smoky eye. We can get this video done for you, and I can get it on here, and then you guys can have a go yourself and do your own makeup for going out. Or if you want a lesson, let me know. So that's all for today. I hope you guys are all right. I know it's still a bit awkward out there and whatnot, but the 2 metre social distancing has been reduced to 1 metre plus, I think. So 2 metres if you can, and 1 metre obviously if you can't, which is okay. So things are getting a little bit easier now. More shops are open, hairdressers are reopening, which I'm sure everyone's happy about, and obviously the pubs. So I can't wait to go out for a meal. Like, that's one thing I've been thinking about. Like, I'm sick of cooking, because we haven't obviously risked having takeaways or anything really. We've had a few, and then recently we've like been to the chippy or whatever, but we haven't really had much time cooking all the time. It's driving me mental. You know, at a weekend you just like to have a break. We normally go out, go for a drive and have something to eat and that, and you can't be able, you know, we haven't been able to do that, and that's really bugged me. So I cannot wait to go and sit and have a meal cooked by somebody else in a restaurant. That is my thing. That's what I'm looking forward to. So fingers crossed for that in the next couple of weeks. I can't wait to do that. And fingers crossed, please cross your fingers for me, because I really want to come back to work, and I hope that in the next sort of like 3 weeks we'll have another announcement and I'll be able to start again, because I am so fed up. I was doing so well before lockdown, you know, I was having loads of models in, I've got loads of work on. It was fantastic. I was having a lot of fun, and I've got people piling up wanting to come and have the makeup done, especially models. So listen, if you guys are still up for modelling, I've got a couple on my books who I've already spoke to about it, but anybody else, please make sure you've got a reasonable amount of eye space for me to work with. But I will be looking for some more models as soon as I am reopened. So if you are interested, just drop me a message so I can stick you on my list. So anyway, that's all from me. I hope you're all right. I hope you take care. I can't wait to get back to work and see you all again. But still, I'm here doing these videos. I think I might do some more, keeping myself occupied, and you guys can look forward to that if you like them, obviously. So yeah, that's all from me. See you later. Bye.